Okay, so we're back again for another episode of TRUTALK. Today, joining myself and Courtney, we also have Josh.
Hello.
He's waving. They can't see you,
That's not good for radio, is it?
No.
Welcome back, Josh. We missed you on the last episode.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
You know, Justin even said that he thought that you would be great at this, so now we just get to show everybody your skills.
Okay. No pressure.
But joining us today, we're going to be talking about the John Deere Tech Program, and with us to discuss that a little bit further is Keith. Keith, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, sure. So my name's Keith Felton. I'm Connected Support Manager here for TRULAND Equipment. So involved in the contact centers, both with customer facing and internal. And then monitoring our machines that are in the field. They're on 4G. So our group monitors those machines, contacts customers, pushes work orders for those machines when they need repair, that kind of thing. And then we also support our technicians. When they have questions, they reach out to our group, and kind of an intermediate step between the technicians and the John Deere factory support. So,
Yeah, you've been part of this company for what, 4-ish years?
yeah, yep, it'll be 4 years in September.
Okay, and you are part of the John Deere family much longer than that, right?
Correct. Yep. So I worked for Deere and Company in Moline for about 12 and a half years before I joined TRULAND. What was TTG at the time, now TRULAND Equipment. So
A lifer.
yeah, something like that.
Was your role when you were at John Deere, was that a similar role to what you have now, or how has that evolved over time?
My role at John Deere was actually in engineering. So I spent about 12 years in product engineering doing design work on planters and combines primarily.
So we are in the midst of a genius, is what
So,
I'm hearing.
Former
sounds
John
like.
Deere employee.
So former genius, is that what you're saying?
once a genius, always a genius.
Yes, very true.
We grew up in the area. My wife and I both did. So we had an opportunity to move back, and our kids were getting to the ages where they were in extracurriculars and things. So moving back toward family was kind of what drove us back this direction.
Yeah. We also got to meet your dad. Well, I got to meet your dad. He was at our hay and forage clinic.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, he introduced himself, and then he said, "Do you know Keith?" And I said, "I sure do." So, yeah, that was good. So, farmers local farmers. So,
Yeah, dad and brother have cattle. Sister's getting into it now too. So we've had cattle since I was a kid. So just small herd here, beef cattle.
Here in the Wabash, Indiana area.
Huntington County, yep. So just east here, Wabash.
Okay.
yeah, that's great. Welcome to True Talk, brought to you by TRULAND Equipment. Join us as we explore cutting-edge machinery, groundbreaking technology, and inspirational stories from the field.
From the dedicated efforts of our team members to the triumphs and challenges of our farmers, True Talk brings you along every step of the way.
Whether you're a seasoned agriculturalist or simply curious about the industry, tune in to discover the fascinating intersection of technology, agriculture, and green machines.
True Talk, cultivating true conversations. So there are a lot of, I want to call them ag kids, students, young adults that are from farming backgrounds. A lot of those people don't want to move away. You said for yourself, raising a family close to your family and your hometown was important to you guys as well. There's a lot of kids who don't want to leave that area and environment, but do you want to talk a little bit about what opportunities TRULAND and John Deere provides for some of those young adults that might fall into that category?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think it's pretty common knowledge at this point that technicians are at a shortage. There's a lot of equipment out there. We've got a lot of work that needs done, and manpower is our biggest shortage. So we're always looking for ways to build our team and increase our breadth and our depth, I guess, in terms of technician talent. So have a lot of kids that go to the Northwestern in Lima, Ohio, for example, and get a diesel technical degree. Really good technicians and mechanics for us. But we kind of try to work closely with Owens Community College over near Toledo. They've got the John Deere Technician Program where They'll actually spend 8 weeks going to school over there, and they work pretty exclusively with John Deere equipment that dealerships loan them. So the kids get used to not only the equipment itself, but the programs that John Deere uses. So like service advisors, where all the manuals are electronic, parts advisors, the system we use to look up our parts. They get used to using DTAC, which is the technical contact center at the factories. And then they come to work at the dealership for 8 weeks and kind of get to then grow accustomed, I guess, to the dealership world, the experience, the dynamics there. And that's a 2-year program. So over the course of 2 years, they're back and forth every 8 weeks between the store and school.
So full disclaimer, we're talking about farm kids, but the reality is we've got to dip into the pool outside of farm kids anymore, right? I mean, we do, because that pool is shrinking more and more every day as farms become bigger. There's fewer kids that grow up on farms. Would you agree with that? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the number of family farms is on the decline. So.
And maybe kids that like working with their hands, or kids that like tinkering with things that may not have come from a farm background necessarily.
Yeah, I've got a number of guys in the organization, guys and gals that come from various backgrounds. So, and a program like Owens, there's really no requirement to have a farming background. You familiarize yourself with the machinery, during that program and your time at the dealer. So, kind of regardless of background, if you like working with your hands or whatever, it's a good jumping off point, so to speak.
Are there any benefits of doing this program after you go through the schooling?
Yeah, so each dealership can kind of has the freedom to do what they want. At TRULAND, we have a scholarship program that's available to the kids, and then there's some opportunities to have tools supplied, toolbox, that kind of thing if they graduate. And then assuming that things go well and it's a good fit at the end of the program, they'll have the opportunity to come work full-time for TRULAND. So
how does one find out about that scholarship or apply for that scholarship if there's a process?
Sure. Sorry to talk over you there, but so we've got links on our website. The TRULAND website's got links to the tech program under the careers page, I believe. So we do that. If you submit on there or request information through that, then we'll reach out and make contact and kind of go from there, start the conversation.
Yeah, so you spoke of the website, and that's a good point. How many technician jobs do you think are listed on the website currently?
Ooh, pop quiz.
I like to do this. Sorry, you should have been forewarned.
I'm going to guess that there's technician jobs listed for every one of our locations,
yeah.
I would say. And some of them probably too. There's probably lawn and garden and ag techs both. Yeah. So
I'd say we probably have never not had one listed. Since
in
I've
my
been
time
here
I don't think so.
Yeah. And that's the same with every industry. We'll make sure we're clear on that. Not just the ag industry. Everybody's looking for those type of workers and those type of employees too, for sure.
Skilled labor is a big thing, and I feel like there's a lot of kids that are gravitating towards college. I know myself, I went to college, and I think everybody in this room did as well. But there are other career paths, and I think it's great to be able to utilize something that's a 2-year degree, a little bit more specialized, and direct them onto a path. And also they have a built-in internship with it, so that's a pretty big thing, pretty unique opportunity, I would say. If I could go into school and have a guaranteed internship, man, sign me up. That would have taken a lot of stress off, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's probably worth mentioning too that we've got several folks in the organization that went through the tech program and are not technicians any longer. We've had folks go into parts. We've had guys go into the precision ag group, for example. Yeah. So it's not necessarily in the shop mechanic type work that can lead into. So, and the way John Deere's positioned itself in terms of the technology integration into the machines and things, there's a lot of positions in the dealership that a technical background really leads into.
Well, I've kind of had my thoughts, and we've had discussions internally about maybe the right ages to reach some of these kids. I mean, give me your thoughts on that. I mean, my opinion is maybe even getting into the high schools is an effort maybe that we could put forth to try to get kids excited about, John Deere paint and John Deere tractors and things like that. How do you feel about that in general? Or what's the ideal age, in your opinion, to get someone to grab someone and give them that opportunity to go through a program like that?
Yeah, I think exposure, maybe even in at the junior high level, not in terms of asking about jobs or talking about jobs, but just getting the dealership known in the community. But as far as engaging kids about what their plans are after school and things like that, I think sophomore at the latest would be the year that you'd want to kind of make that initial
High school?
contact. Yeah, sophomore in high school. I'm sorry, because a lot of kids by the time they get to their senior year, mid to late junior year, senior year, it seems like they've kind of got their mind made up, and it's tough to turn them at that point. I don't know if turn is the right word, but kind of already got a direction set.
Well, especially again, those kids that maybe haven't been around agriculture at all or as much, if they get that exposure in high school, that might be an influencer to them for what they think about doing the rest of their life as well.
So we mentioned all of the technical capabilities and technical skills that you learn kind of stemming from the integrated solutions mindset. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the tech program, you mentioned DTAC and being able to read schematics and figure out all of those, how that kind of sets a foundation for an overall career rather than just a tech position at TRULAND?
Sure. So the technical training is just a really good foundation for, again, a number of positions. Like you mentioned, precision ag. Our contact center, our call centers are growing all the time. So when you're trying to help somebody over the phone, having an understanding of where to go for what information, how to decipher schematics, or sift through the electronic manuals and things like that. It sets you up for there's a lot of paths within the dealership organization that I think are largely unknown, just because to drive by, it looks like we sell tractors, selling service tractors.
Well, and for you, I'm super curious. You talking about the connected support side of things. That's a really big part of what we all do.
We had a whole episode on Expert Connect.
Right. And just being connected to our customers through their equipment, right, and through their technology and through our computers and our phones. I'm curious, you having been here maybe 4 years and been an engineer for 12 years, did you see some of this coming 12, 14, 15 years ago when you were at John Deere? Some of the connected technologies, when you look at what you're doing now versus what you saw coming down the pipe as a younger person?
So yeah, I was exposed to it at Deere, even before it was kind of mainstream, so to speak. But it's far outgrown anything that I could have imagined at that point. It's gone from just gathering diagnostic data after a machine is broke to now predicting when it might break, and trying to be proactive and contact those customers, before they're actually down. So even starting to delve into the arena of performance monitoring. So not just failure and repair work, but maybe even offering suggestions for how machines can be adjusted in the field, to increase their performance.
Efficiency and output, absolutely.
And we'll see a lot of that this fall with our demo machines. So we'll have the harvest automation features on the new S7 series combines. So yeah, that'll be a big thing. Idle reasons, that just came out. So that's a big thing that John Deere is pushing. So giving reasons as to why your idle time is the percentage that it is on tractor efficiency. That's gonna
blow some
be
minds.
Yeah.
I always tell people that. Yeah. Particularly their auger wagons, when they see how many hours they rack up on that cart just sitting in the field, it's crazy.
I mean, yeah, typically it's a third or more. So if you look at a tractor's lifetime, being able to break that down, that's going to be, that's big for the resale market, but it's also just big for connected support, like you said, being able to understand some of that. So, yeah.
So, again, you listed a number of schools. Are there particular schools that we have scholarships for that we might promote? Are there, how do you guys go about, if a kid comes in the door and says, hey, I would like to work here, how does that conversation go?
Yeah, so with our AOR, with where we're located in Indiana and Ohio, it's really Owens Community College in Toledo, and then Vincennes University down in Vincennes, Indiana. And what drives kid where is kind of up to them, really. We work with both schools. A lot of it's geography, as you could imagine, just where they're located. And really, those are kind of, those two schools are kind of on opposite ends of our AOR, so it works well with where our dealership stores are located.
What are some of the things that we do? You mentioned getting them involved in high school, but what are some of the things that we do? I know specifically we've worked with Precision Ag. There's a Precision Ag class at our local vocational school. So have you done any of that in the past?
I've not personally been involved with it. Attending career fairs has been probably the biggest thing. I know a few locations have had, a few TRULAND locations have hosted what they'll call like career days and have the local vocational high school classes come through and tour the dealership and have folks from different departments within the store kind of give a short presentation on what they do and that kind of thing. So
We've done that at several locations.
yeah, and I think that's pretty effective, really, as far from an exposure standpoint, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
It's getting them in the dealership, getting them one step closer to figuring out if that's what they want to do or be or hands-on.
Yeah, exposure. Again, it's that exposure word. I think that's a big deal. I really do.
And then we generally always have intern positions available too for a number of departments. So.
We had a high school intern during the school year working in our shop, so I know that that's an option. And again, I mean, that student was exposed to all things tech. I don't even know what he did, but I saw him in here every single day.
We've had them as well down my way, and actually one of them is now full-time, so it works out well. Again, it's, to me, getting those kids exposed in high school around them, get a wrench in their hand, these kids that may or may not have had that opportunity before that, and you never know what can happen.
Did that student go through the tech program?
They have not yet. They actually are a fresh graduate from high school, but they are currently full-time.
So are they planning to start that in the fall then?
I'm not sure.
So you need to do some interviewing.
I do,
under him.
evidently. Need to send Keith down there to do some interviewing.
Yeah.
Some convincing.
Yeah.
Get them to do that program.
The best thing, I guess I shouldn't say the best, one of the nice things about the tech program versus just a diesel technology or auto diesel technology program that you can get, at a number of schools. When you come out of the John Deere Tech program, you've got already completed what we call the core classes, which is your basic electrical, hydraulic, air conditioning, HVAC, I guess I should say. And it saves, that's something that, depending on training schedules, can take a couple of years to get in the dealership. So they come out, they're already ready there, and from a compensation standpoint, as well as just a readiness standpoint, it's a kind of a big hurdle.
Who drives that curriculum? Is it Deere? Is it local boards of local dealerships? How does that curriculum stay fresh in those schools?
So they've got advisory boards that some of us from the dealerships that they work with sit in on, and they'll have meetings, monthly meetings, I believe. They'll kind of talk about curriculum, what's coming up in the next quarter, what they're gonna touch on, ask for input from the dealers, and so
They get to live that every single day, attend classes, and I mean, it's John Deere standards, whereas if you were to just come in and not go through the tech program, you would have to go through internalized training, and those are only offered so often, and so that's why you reference the point that it could take a couple years to get those either worked into your schedule or just completed with the current offerings, and how you fall into that timeline as well. So
right.
It sounds like that could be the difference between someone who comes in and maybe is a setup tech, putting together, tillage equipment, versus someone that has that opportunity to climb that ladder to work on tractors, right? Engines, you talked about HVAC and things like that. So it sounds like that's a way to get there quicker.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's kind of a head start, so to speak.
especially for those who didn't come from a farming background or grow up around this, which it is a good way to get their foot in the door, get them comfortable around some of that stuff, and then, fast track their career. And having guided one-on-one instruction in a college setting, per se, versus just having to follow around one of the other techs, I feel like that's also added benefit. That's what they want to do. That's what those teachers are there for, versus just watching somebody tear apart an engine out in the shop. It's a little bit of a different atmosphere, I would say.
Well, and the reality, another side of that coin, is if they go through that program, decide it's not the right job for them, that saves them from, being in a company they maybe don't want to be in as well. So it gives them that opportunity to decide if they want to continue on or not.
Or just a good foundation for getting experience with John Deere. I mean, there's a lot of those programs that I had to learn after the fact. I mean, I had to learn Service Advisor and DTAC and all of those platforms to be able to solve what we do in our job.
Sure.
So,
And there's kids that have gone through those programs and went back to the family farm as well.
well, I think that pretty much wraps up all we have to say about the tech program, unless, Keith, you have any parting words?
No, appreciate you having me. And if you're got interest, I'd encourage you to visit our TRULAND website, and under the career section, there's more information there. If you got questions, reach out.
Yeah, well, we thank you for your time. And I mean, this is great content. And
Very informative.
yeah, I think it's great to highlight other career opportunities that we have within TRULAND. And this is definitely one that we could spend some extra time promoting. And I see no hurt in it by any means. So, yeah, well, thanks again, Keith. And I think with that, Josh, you have some agronomy updates for us?
Well, I don't know. Do you have some agronomy updates for us, George? You've been in the fields just as much as I have.
Probably not as much. You guys have been done for longer. We're still not wrapped up here.
We're not either. So no, it's a challenging spring, as we've said on previous podcasts, and I know I think it's safe to say we're at the end of May. This podcast will be coming out probably at the beginning of June, so fairly close. And I think most areas have people that are done planting, people that are nearly done planting, people that are not done planting. It's been a very long, drawn-out spring for sure. So we've got corn that's at V5. We've got corn that's popping out of the ground. And I'm assuming everybody in this room has seen the same thing, right?
And some that's not planted.
Right, we do definitely have some that's not planted yet. We've got beans that have maybe 2 trifoliates beans that are popping out of the ground. So we've got a very diverse maturity stage of the crop so far. And it's going to be that kind of year. I think, again, thinking about things that we're looking for right now, probably going to watch for cutworms. The cutworms and the armyworm moths the eggs have hatched and they're going to become active. And so that's one thing we're kind of looking for. Wheat harvest is coming soon, right? You got some wheat to harvest, don't you?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Nuh-uh. No, but I did just see a field yesterday right up here down the road. It's it's turning.
Right.
I think it's gonna be ready before 4th of July.
I definitely think it's going to be an early wheat harvest, and so the wheat guys, the fungicide window has closed. Right, we're done spraying fungicides, and typically would have a 30-day wait period anyway after you spray fungicides, and we know we're kind of entering in that 30-day window to harvest. And so I tell wheat guys, we're kind of watching for armyworms in wheat and just kind of playing the waiting game on wheat. But right now it's again, it's been a challenging spring. We definitely have a variety of crop conditions, and hopefully we can get planting season wrapped up here within the week. It would be really, really nice.
How are you seeing that affect nitrogen applications? Current weather conditions, current soil conditions?
Yeah, it's hard getting nitrogen on when it's muddy. So I don't know. I guess for me, I'm a little kind of concerned about some nitrogen loss with all the rain we've had. Yeah. So would maybe encourage customers to do some side dress testing if they're going to side dress to try to get an idea of how much nitrogen they have in their soil. But it's definitely, actually got some guys that already have their side dress done, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And yet we have guys that haven't finished planting their corn. So I think there's going to be a really, really, this is one of those years where you get out of the planter, you get in the sprayer, you get in the side dresser, then you go back to the planter, right? And have to finish something up, and then back to the side dresser and back to the sprayer. So it's one of those years where I think guys are going to be probably in a piece of equipment probably most of the summer, unfortunately, because of how drawn out our planting season was.
Yeah, well, and I mean, talking spraying, I mean, not only nitrogen, but you're talking now post-emergence herbicide applications, and those are lacking. I mean, I've seen a lot of dirty fields.
We've got some grass coming up. We've got water hemp coming up, so mare's tail coming up. So, yeah, it's like I said, guys are going to feel like they're always behind the 8 ball, I think, this year. But hopefully, if we can get a good 10 days to 2 weeks of nice, warm, dry weather, maybe guys can get caught up.
Now you're just speaking in fantasy land.
I am. I have been speaking in fantasy land.
We've seen the radar. We know what's coming.
It just rained this morning over from where I'm
how
at,
much rain did you get yesterday?
Oh, I don't even know. I didn't even look.
We only got 3/10. It was
or Indiana territory that had a half inch.
That might be half inch or something like that.
He was getting ready to plant corn, and it rained another half inch. So
yeah.
I've
Yep. I've
just
heard-
stopped looking at the rain gauge.
Got hail in some spots last night, right?
Yeah, we did see that. Yeah. Yep. Did you get that at your house? That's close to you, right?
Yeah, we didn't really get any to speak of at my house, but nearby there was definitely some.
I saw some around the Huntington area. Not sure exactly where they live, but, good old Facebook. Statewide meteorologist.
Indiana, what do you call it? The bipolar Indiana weather. It's still rearing its ugly head, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
I have a sweatshirt on this morning. You guys have sweatshirts on, too.
Courtney always has a sweatshirt on. Doesn't count.
Can't get cold that way.
Right.
Stay comfortable.
Yeah, and you did have a rain jacket on, so she's really prepared for it all.
It was raining this morning. I have more coats in my truck, too, so.
Boy Scouts over there.
I still carry my winter coat. You never know when you're going to need
Always
it.
be prepared.
I think we're a little bit past that one, Courtney.
Hey, it has snowed in May before.
It's almost June. All right. Well, with that, Josh, we thank you for your agronomic knowledge. And Keith, thank you again for your insights and intel and your John Deere expertise, or John Deere genius. I think that's what we called it. So with that, until next time, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to TRUTALK to be tuned in for all of our future episodes.